Hello and welcome to Capra Horse Tarot. Today we are going to look at one of my latest acquisitions from a Kickstarter. It was actually this deck's release. I also got its previous concept deck. So this is called the Tarot Assembled. And to best understand this deck, you really are best to look at the Tarot Disassembled. So let's just kind of get off to start with what the box is like, then we'll start looking at the cards. We have a nice magnetic box, and it did come in different colors. You could choose what color you would get from the Kickstarter. And it has a nice pretty interior, and it has a quote inside: "We are symbols and inhabit symbols," by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Okay, so it is a nice little box. I will say I fought to get one of my cards out as we were setting up to do this video. So I hope it's not a common problem, but that was a little annoying, and maybe that's why I got a little, my box is just, let's just see, maybe a little loose so that it caught in there. Okay, so the backing's quite nice. It's fully reversible, and it's got colored images on it, and on the side it's got a nice blue edging. We'll just flip it over. It is in no particular order because I didn't think it needed to be presented in its normal order. So this image is the feather, and then on the sides it mentions what cards you can find the feather in. So the Fool, Death, Sun, the Nine of Cups, the Page of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. And then, as you can see in the background, it has a variety of different symbols there. So you have the dog, and even the rose. The dog you see in the Fool, the rose you see in Death, the horse with the Knight, the little bag with a page, but also with the Fool. So a few different images to coincide with some of the other images you find. However, especially for a card like this, how do you choose to interpret the feather? So that's where the handy dandy PDF that she created for this deck would be very helpful with the guidebook, because I don't know offhand what would be the symbolism with a feather per se. It could mean that I'll find a feather and I should pay attention to this moment, or something special will happen today. It could mean maybe talking more about birds. Maybe they're talking about taking flight. It's so hard to kind of know. I got a little ahead of myself. I should let you know that this deck was created by Jennifer Cooper Steedley, and these are her various socials if you want to check out her work. Okay, so now something like this, the Ouroboros has the magician in it, and again, yes, it's a special symbol that is within the deck, but it's not one that I would know offhand. Here we have the apron, Three of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, which are both kind of hardworking, refining your craft, getting acknowledged. So which meaning do you go with that? That's kind of not as obvious. I should also mention as we go through, I don't know if you can see, but it does have some foil here. So this one's kind of a gold foil, and I'm just not sure if they're all kind of gold foil or if there's some silver. It looks kind of gold in this lighting. Or it's maybe incandescent. It's got a few different colors in there. Okay, so as you can see, there's quite a few different images. Some are repeated, some are not. Some you'll see in lots of different cards, some you won't. some like the infinity sign, you'll have a pretty good idea of what it can, you have something you can jump off with. The apple, maybe not as much. Maybe while you're reading this, you may focus on a certain aspect. Specifically, maybe you're very drawn to the lion in here. So then you maybe kind of take more of a strength take on the card. So given that this could be so many different things, like you can see this whole side has cards there, and three different majors that card represents. So how do you choose which card or meaning to focus on? So like I said, I think earlier, you really do want to be checking out the guidebook that comes with it to get your best interpretation for it. Also because, for me anyway, this deck reads more like an oracle deck than a tarot deck. And for me, some of them, like, oh, I just kind of flew by it, like the poppy that was here a few. For me, that's hard to not think of anything but Remembrance Day, which is in Canada, kind of like your Veterans Day down in the States. So for me, that would be a difficult symbolism to move away from, but also a not very practical way of interpreting that card that would be useful, because it's not, going to, mean much within most readings. Now, I haven't had a chance to look at the guidebook. It's been a very hectic couple of weeks since I've gotten this deck, and I haven't had a whole bunch of time to do much recording, let alone looking at the decks more closely. Now, I don't know if there's any symbolism or specific choice made for the background color for most of these. Some of these images I know are images you'll find within the Lenormand, and I'm not sure, like I said, I haven't read the guidebook to say if that is how I would read them specifically. Overall, the artwork is quite nice. The cardstock is quite nice. How usable it will be, I don't know yet. Like I said, I haven't had a whole bunch of time to play with it. It's a neat concept for sure deck. I'm going to give it a shuffle for you guys. Let's give it a bit of a shuffle. Like its sister deck, it does have a bit of a sheen to the cardstock, or the finish, and it makes handling them a little awkward. And while it shuffles the first part of the shuffle decently, it doesn't arch very well, if that's your shuffling style like mine is. There we go, and we will give a quick cut. Let's see what our card says, and we'll see how I can muddle through this reading without having read the guidebook. We have the snail. So I take the snail as meaning things have been kind of going slow. It's been feeling like there hasn't maybe been as much progress as you'd like, or maybe someone else would like or expect from you. It could also mean that you're having an issue in your garden with some snails. It could also be, unlike a slug, you have a nice shell that is there protecting you, and it may mean that you need to work at letting other people in because you are busy hiding and protecting yourself with this shell. So that's all I have for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed this review of this deck, this flip through. Tell me what you think. Did you like it? Do you like the concept? Is it something you think you would be interested in using? Love to hear your comments. And again, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more content from myself, hit the bell. Thanks and have a great day.